Well, Tampa Bay and Boston get started tonight, so I thought I'd do a little series preview of that series. Redundant there. Anyway, so let's take a look at some numbers. During the regular season, Boston and Tampa Bay both played 70 games. Boston finished with 100 points and Tampa Bay finished with 92 points. Now, that was a long time ago. So they were number 1 and 2 in the Eastern Conference with those point totals. And I'm not going to say that you can really give either team a strong edge based on that because even though obviously Boston finished with 8 more points, that was, like I said, some time ago, and a lot of circumstances are different. A lot has changed. But if you were just going to go by the regular season, you could look at that and say, well, that seems to suggest that maybe Boston is a better team. Boston had a plus 53 goal differential during the regular season, and Tampa Bay had a plus 50 goal differential. So not much of significance there to look at. When we fast forward to the playoffs, to the postseason so far, let's look at special teams. Boston's power play has been 17.9%, or has a 17.9% success rate, compared to Tampa Bay's 13.3%. So Boston would seem to have a bit of an edge on the power play, at least going by those numbers. Of course, opponent always matters. When we look at the penalty kill numbers, Boston is 85.7 and Tampa is 87.1. So the Lightning have a bit of an edge on the penalty kill number. Both of them, there is this metric, maybe you're familiar with it, maybe you're not, where you take the power play percentage of a team and the penalty kill percentage of a team and add it up. And in theory, you want that number to come to 100 or more. So for Boston, that number comes to 103, 104 roughly. I'm just doing some quick math in my mind. And for Tampa, it comes to 100.4. So both of them are hitting those numbers. So in other words, both teams have really good special teams. So it's hard to give a significant edge to either team based on special teams. Boston has a slightly better power play, but Tampa has a slightly better penalty kill. So, we'll see. Here is an interesting statistic that might show up in this series with an advantage to Boston. So far in the postseason, Boston's face-off win percentage is 54.5, whereas Tampa's is 46%. So Boston has an edge on the dots, and that can be an enormous difference. I mean, winning a key face-off can be the difference between winning and losing a game. And so it's possible that statistic plays into this series in favor of Boston. Even if it only results in 1 or 2 key goals, that could be the difference between 1 or 2 wins, possibly. And that could be the difference in the series. Will it be? Who knows? But it could be. Now, when we look at Vasilevsky and Halak, and I'm not going to look at the backup goaltenders because I have no reason to believe we're going to see the backup goaltenders at all. But when we look at Halak and Vasilevsky, the numbers look like this. And I'm just looking at the postseason numbers. I'm not talking about regular season numbers. Vasilevsky has a 1.98 goals against average compared to Halak's 2.29. So there's not an insignificant advantage. You're basically talking about almost, more than a quarter of a goal per 60 minutes. So that could factor in right there. And Vasilevsky's save percentage is better with a 927 compared to Halak's 912. And I look at save percentage as more of an individual goaltender statistic and goals against average as a little bit of a team statistic. Either way, though, Tampa Bay is winning, or Vasilevsky is winning that battle between Halak and the Boston Bruins. What does all this amount to in my mind? It amounts to the fact that I think this is a very even series. I think these are 2 very evenly matched teams, and I would predict that this series will go 7, and I think Tampa Bay is going to win it, but barely. I will not be the least bit surprised if Boston wins it. In fact, of all 4 of the series remaining, I find this one to be the most difficult to predict. Although, after what happened between Dallas and Colorado last night, and considering the fact that I had thought that Colorado would win that series easily, what the heck do I know? But if I know anything, and maybe I don't, I would say that this series will be the one to go 7 and this will be the series that is the most difficult to predict. And while I am predicting Tampa Bay in 7, I have almost zero confidence in that prediction. But we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. If you found this video to be entertaining, useful, informational, please give it a like. And please do subscribe. If you have not already subscribed, it would mean a lot to me if you would do so. And leave me some comments. Who do you think is going to win and why? Thanks again for watching. Have an awesome day. Bye now.